Good afternoon. It is Saturday, July the 10th. It is a warm and it's getting brighter out here, here in the reading nook, and I am back with another pile of parcels to unbox. So let's get into it with the next one. So this doesn't say where it's from, so let's find out what it is. You'll be pleased to know that I'm here, of course, with another hot cup of tea. Okay, and pulling this open, I have a copy of Parallel Worlds number 22, which I'm a bit surprised to get, sort of. I wasn't expecting it. I have reviewed Parallel Worlds number 21, did that recently, and this offers me the best in escapism for Anachrony, Beyond the Black Sea, Black Void, Shivering Sorcery, Cyberpunk Red, D&D, Elder Scrolls, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Peter F. Hamilton, Leigh Russell, Original Fiction, Raising Hell. So it's got an interview with Peter Hamilton, who's an author I like. Basically a look at Elder Scrolls, then we'll look at Skyrim and the Wider World, and the D&D movie, What We Want to See. And their support for Shivering Sorcery and Black Void. Black Void I have reviewed, Shivering Sorcery I have not, but want to. It's a matter of time. So what have we got in here? So straight out, this is basically comes from drivethrurpg.com. So it's a regular magazine. You will find content like that. So it's the one thing is basically this isn't going to be as glossy as you will find in the magazine itself if you buy it at your gaming shop. But that's fine. It's nice to have, but it is colourful. It is bright. Decent contents page. And then we get straight into an interview with Peter F. Hamilton, who is a British science fiction author whose writing I do enjoy, like the reality Dysfunction and Tronium Alchemist, really big chunky books from I suppose basically 20 years ago now, but they do a good job, really good job of world building. It's a pity they've never been developed into a role-playing game. The article's a bit short, but fine. I look forward to reading that. Then we go into the payoff. When character arcs aren't, you've got a bit of basically discussion of game types and sort of like story development and arcs for a character. Always interesting when you think about how a character develops over the story and how an aspect of him changes, or how he changes or how something basically something related to him changes because of his actions and so on. Obviously illustrated, I think it's referring to here essentially superheroes here. So you have basically Superman and basically Wonder and Vision from WandaVision, the Marvel TV series, so on, and then basically play experience of Cyberpunk Red, which is the new version of the Cyberpunk role-playing game from 1990. I just come back to the classic Cyberpunk Red, nice illustrated. And basically it's the precursor to the Cyberpunk 2077 computer game, which I still have not yet played because I've not decided to upload it onto my PS4. I'm waiting for my PS5, and I don't have a PS5 yet. So that'll be interesting to see what their experience of it is like. I have glanced at Cyberpunk, see what it's like. It's quite a thick book. There's a lot to dig into there, but it feels a lot much like Cyberpunk 2020, but cleaned up at the history pushed forward to 2045. Then we go into the offering for Black Void, which is a sort of a weird fantasy, cosmic horror, science fantasy setting. Nice bit of illustration, a lot of basically character options there. then continuous support for Chivalry and Sorcery, Britannia Games, big role-playing game of medieval fantasy, but drawing a lot upon the history, and that which is really interesting. So we have describes a setting which is Ligante, the capital of Soldar, known as the City of Silver Stag. Got a nice little map of it, and this runs the sort of like a couple 4 pages. That's really well done. Then we're into a review of Beyond the Black Sea, which is a modified version of the Dark Stars rule set. I don't know either, so but again, I always like a good review. No surprise there, although I tend to avoid reading reviews out of profession. Basically, until I've reviewed something, until I've either reviewed it myself, or I am not going to review it. So obviously something like there's a review of the board game Acrony. Here we go. It's nice clean layout, basic description, basically pointers so you can just grab some idea of what the game is aimed at. Nice illustration of the game on the table. I'm not going to review Acrony, very unlikely, but I can get an idea of what it's like, because that's what a review does. And then the Worlds of Elder Scrolls. Basically Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion. They're all games that I'm sort of vaguely interested in. I played a bit of Skyrim and enjoyed it, and at some point I honestly ought to go back in and devote time to it, because you've got a longer piece here, Skyrim of 2021, and it's still playable, it's still enjoyable. I can remember, God, those mountains, just trying to walk around those mountains, just trying to not get killed. But that's how it goes, and this is a nice, it captures some of the feel and what you look at the world, and I still think it's very playable, and if I find time I will go back and dig more. And then we go into got a review of fiction of Leigh Russell's Rachel story, which she was interviewed in the previous issue. So we've got a short review of that, and again of Raising Hell, another book there. And then a discussion of the new D&D movie, which kind of following basically with interest, because if there's one thing that has got wrong in other role-playing games, there's one thing that the hobby has got wrong, or Hollywood has got wrong, it's the D&D movies. They are both of them are terrible, really, on any level you want to look at. There are moments in them when they're fantastic, but it's kind of like Jeremy Irons is great. It's a good actor, but you know, it's clear he's chewing the scenery and just in it for the money in the one he's in, and the second one is just good. Oh my god. And I saw them both at the cinema and was hugely disappointed. But here we have a list of what we want to see. So things like, okay, no, we don't see the characters players. Yes, stick the party. No extra plane of travel. Yes, iconic monsters. No hackneyed love story. So, and an explanation of why. And of course, this is the opinion of the author, but that's fine. Yes, medieval setting. No racist tropes. Yes, shout outs and Easter eggs. Because essentially, with something like this, you are talking to the fan. The film is aimed at the fans, but it's also aimed at the wider audience, because it's got to reach a wider audience to be successful. But for the fans, you've got to keep them interested as well. And of course, no to females in chainmail bikinis. Yes to classic spells. And then, so yeah, do all those, and basically that author will be happy, and hopefully the fans will be happy. But the thing is, in this day and age, I think the D&D movie, if it's done well, has a chance of being much, much more of a success, because there's a greater appetite and acceptance of fantasy, and the fantastic in general, because you've got all these Marvel movies. People have watched Game of Thrones, they know what fantasy is. They've watched Lord of the Rings done well, The Hobbit done reasonably, and because of the money spent on all of them, they don't look rubbish, and because they're well written, they don't. The stories aren't rubbish. So you know, somebody who's not necessarily a fan of them can appreciate them for what they are, as well as you know, the fans. So yeah, next we have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just get a look at that. Yeah, this is going to be spoilers for me because I've not watched this, because I do not have a Disney Plus subscription. Just haven't got around to getting one. If somebody wants to buy me one, that's fine, and I'll devote the time to it. And then essentially got a piece of fiction. Which takes up the rest of the magazine. So yeah, that's a general overview. I quite enjoy looking forward to reading this and giving it a review. That'll be part of my Magazine Madness ongoing series of reviews, because magazines have become back in popularity, whether it's Bat Al Azif or Call of Cthulhu, or Weird Science, which is a general gaming magazine, or Nook for the OSR, and then of course Parallel Worlds, which deals with sort of gaming in general sort of like fantasy and science fiction media. So yeah, that's published by Parallel. Let's have a look. I know it is. Yeah, Parallel Worlds, Parallel Publishing, and it's available on Drive-Thru RPG. So, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And if you have comment or feedback, then I appreciate you taking the time to post those, and I do read them. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, then please do hit that subscribe button, because in that case you'll see me here with another parcel, another book, and the obligatory nice hot cup of tea. In the meantime, thank you again for watching. I will be back again with another unboxing in the very near future. Bye for now.